Blog Talk Radio.
Are you ready to take a bite out of the competition? Are you looking for ideas to make your business better? Welcome to the Core Business Show with Tim Jacquet,
sponsored by Apple Capital Group.
At the core of every successful business, you'll find people making a difference. And with each episode of the Core Business Show, we talk with those people, examine those ideas, and explore the strategies that make them special. Now, the host of the Core Business Show, Tim Jacquet.
Good morning and welcome to another episode of the Core Business Show. I'm Tim Jacquet, your host. Today I have the pleasure of having Branch Isole. He's going to talk about his book, Pathways to Publishing, and he is the president and CEO of Mano Publishing Company, which is manopublishing.com. If you'd like to join the conversation, please call in at 347-324-3460 or post your question in the chat room, and the chat room is opening now, or you can go ahead and shoot us an email at info@thecorebusinessshow.com. Branch, welcome to the program.
Good morning, Tim. Thanks for having me on.
I guess to begin with, our audience love personal stories. So if you don't mind, tell us about yourself and how you got started.
Well, I've actually been involved in 4 different startup businesses since 1982. The first one was a small specialty advertising company, which was a sole proprietorship, and I did everything on my own. The second one was a sportswear company where I had a partner, and we had a line of clothing, beach and skatewear. And then I was involved with my wife in a bath and body products, handmade bath and body products line, and we also had a retail store in conjunction with that. And then for the last 13 years, I've been writing professionally, and we've been self-publishing my work. So a little bit of a variation, all startup businesses and small cottage industries, sort of a trial and error, and learn as you go.
Tell us about the experience as you coming from one career to another career, a different business. Tell us what the biggest challenge for you has been in starting your businesses.
Wow. Well, the biggest challenge always is having the resources and the funds to get started and, do what you want to do. You can only do as much as your budget allows you to invest initially. Mm-hmm. But beyond having, the money to do it, I found in all 4 businesses that the marketing is what really makes the difference between success and failure. In all of those businesses that I mentioned, the advertising, sportswear, the bath and body products, and even the books now, there's lots and lots of competition, and people can go to a variety of vendors, a variety of wholesalers, a variety of retailers, and buy your product. So the real key I've found in each of those situations has been, how do we market ourselves so that we can tell our story, get it in front of our buyers, and capitalize on whatever our investment is going to be. And that's been the real key to both our success and our not so successful ventures is how can we get it out to the public? How can we build that loyal readership or consumer? And how do we keep in touch with them so they keep coming back for more?
Can you talk about some of, go ahead, the market, tell us about some of the strategies that seem to work for you.
Well, now, and this time, and with our publishing and the books and the ebooks and things, the number one thing I tell people is, if you're going to market your books, 2 things. You've got to have a website. It's just imperative. You have your own website where people can come and look at your products and purchase your products. And if you've got some of your listeners out there who are, sort of toying with that, there's a lot of web producers out there and people who will build websites for you and give you lots of information. But we found a website that's called Weebly.com, Weebly.com, and they're free, they're easy to use, they have a variety of templates, background templates, and they have the support there that anybody could possibly want. Analytics, tracking information, and it's a real great site. Like I say, it's free, and they walk you through it, and it's easy to set up yourself if you have some basic computer skills. and can learn. And because it's web-based, we can make changes, instantaneous changes. And before we had that, we had developed our own website and built our own website. And one of the problems was every time we wanted to make a change, because it wasn't web-based, there was a lot of, redo and a lot of publishing and a lot of downtime every time we did that. So since we've gone to this web-based website, it's solved a lot of issues. It's cut our downtime to virtually nothing. And the best thing is it's free. And today in our business, as well as any business, especially a small business or individuals who are trying to do their own business, what we find is you've got to figure out how to get in front of the most people for the least cost. So anything that you can do free is going to be a benefit to you. So
Wow.
that may be a site that people can check out their own needs. It's real easy to learn, it's real easy to use, and it doesn't cost you anything. But the marketing hub is always the key. You can have the best product or the best service in the world, but if you don't get people to purchase from you and to keep purchasing from you, then every new sale has to be a prospect, and every prospect ultimately costs you money. So you're looking for that repeat and referral business. And so you've got to have a website. You're going to be in business today, especially in the publishing industry. The ebook end of the industry is the only part of the industry that's growing, and it's growing by leaps and bounds over the paperbacks and the hardbacks and the bookstore kinds of things. The other thing I would suggest is you need to be where you can get your products distributed. You've got to be on Amazon. You've got to be on one of these sites where you can market your products to a worldwide audience. That's the only way that I find a small business or a sole proprietor can possibly be competitive.
Wow.
The marketing we find is the key, and the key to that is, of course, where is my audience and how am I going to get to them and get in front of them?
Okay. And when it comes to publishing itself, with transition time from paper books to now electronic books, and this has only been, it's been for a while, but more so within the last couple of years. What do you see where we head at as publishers and as authors? As you write things, you need to take a different approach when you come to marketing, when you actually write your book. How is that affecting, and what do you actually see is going to happen within the next 5 years?
Well, like I say, it's obvious that the e-book market or the electronic books is going to continue to grow. Many of the traditional publishers who've been in business since publishing began have models that are no longer viable in this day and age. Yes, people still buy hardbacks and paper books, and there's a lot of people who say, well, I like the feel of the book in my hand, and I want to own the copies. But as our population changes, and with each succeeding group of young people who come into the marketplace as consumers who are more computer literate, and their computer and their iPod and their tablet, more of their daily life, they're going to be buying electronically. We see it in general retail sales at the holidays where people can buy online and they don't go to the mall anymore. So the publishing industry faces the same challenges. It's going to be an e-book world, and I've said in my book, Pathways to Publishing, when my grandchildren are my age, I think the only place you'll find hardback or paperback books will be in museums and archives and public collections. The e-book generation will just, everything will be downloadable. And for a lot of reasons, costs are much less. You can download hundreds or possibly thousands of books onto a tablet and carry it with you. So there's a lot of benefits to e-books. But as your market becomes more and more computer literate, the e-book generation, will continue to buy more material and buy more books. Even textbooks now are going to e-book formats. For authors today, that's a real boom, because for independent authors like myself, unknown or aspiring authors, e-books give you an opportunity to be connected with a potential worldwide buying audience without having to go through the traditional publishing house and literary agent pathways and methodologies to get your book out onto the market. So it's really changed the industry in all its facets, and it's opened up literally a world of potential readers and buyers for any aspiring author who wants to put their work out there.
Wow. So when it comes to those particular books itself, I'm still in transition from the old school, and
Sure.
it's just really hard to sit there and read something electronically, just because I stare at a computer all day long, and to read a long book, big book on a tablet, maybe on the airport or something like that. I mean, it is easy to carry. I have to carry a suitcase full of books or something like that. Then I can see the convenience, but it's kind of just hard to sit there and just read it electronically. So, as you mentioned, as the generation change, kids today, well, it's just going to be part of their culture. Everything is on their little tablet, and they just go on from there.
Well, it's sort of whatever you get used to. Once you make the transition and you start to get more familiar with any of your electronic devices, and you start to use them more and more, then you get more used to using them. The ebook reader or the tablet reader is perfect for commuters, especially commuters who are taking mass transit. They've got some time in between home and work, and they have that opportunity. With the ebook situation, what's nice is most of the ebook converter hub, and I use a group called Smashwords. So when I upload a book to them, their system automatically converts it from a Word document from my PC into all of the different e-reader formats that are being sold, like for the Kindle or the Nook or the Diesel or the Kobo. It automatically converts those, so my book becomes available to any electronic device reader that may be out there. So that allows me to not be exclusively only read on a Kindle.
Mm-hmm.
That's a part of the process that's automatically done in the upload and the conversion part of it. Yeah, my wife just got a Kindle, and she won't let go of it now.
Wow.
She didn't want to. She's been with a PC for ever since they came out, but she recently got an iPhone, and then she got involved. She loves that, and then she just got a Kindle, and my goodness, she's reading. So she got used to it. Old dog learned a new trick. She got used to it pretty quickly.
Wow. We're going to take a station break real quick, Branch, and we'll be back in a moment with the Core Business Show.
Okay, buddy.
You're listening to the Core Business Show, sponsored by Apple Capital Group. Apple Capital Group in Jacksonville, Florida, is a commercial lender that specializes in asset-based loans, equipment leasing and financing, invoice financing, commercial real estate loans, and asset-based financing in the U.S. and Canada. Apple Capital Group is a direct lender that lends on their private equity investment portfolio. 90% of most loans are decided within 2 hours, and vendor funding within 24 hours after documents are completed, with a one-page application. No slow no's, just a quick decision and a fast yes. To get more information about lending from Apple Capital Group, call 866-611-7457. That's 866-611-7457 to speak with one of our loan specialists. Or visit us right now at applecapitalgroup.com. Welcome back to the Core. Once again, here's Tim Jacquet.
We're back with Branch Isole. We're going to be talking about pathways to publishing. Well, tell us about pathways to publishing. How did you come by writing this step-by-step guide?
Well, most of what I write is nonfiction and fiction poetry. And then I have a couple of self-help books in some different genres. But I kept going to reading conferences and writing conferences, and people would come up to me and ask me, how do you get into publishing your own book? I finally thought, well, if I'm going to keep answering these same questions, I'm going to sit down and write out how it's done. So I sat down and wrote Pathways to Publishing, and the first half of the book actually focuses on what any aspiring writer today needs to know. That is, what are my options? I've written a book, I've got the manuscript, what are my next steps, and what are my options? Do I want to go with a a big New York publishing house, or do I want to go with a university press? So the first half of the book details what the different options are, what the pros to each of those avenues are, and what the cons to each, what the hurdles and the obstacles to each of those are. And then the second half of the book actually details the step-by-step process that I use when I publish my books. So it takes the reader right through, okay, I finished my manuscript. What's my next step? What's my next step? How do I get an ISBN number? How do I get a library control number from the Library of Congress? How much is it going to cost me to get the book actually printed? What are the things that I have to have for marketing? And there's about 25 steps that are laid out for the reader. And when they get done with those steps, they should be able to have a finished book in their hands. And then in the appendix part, I actually give them the names and the addresses of all of my contacts who print my books, the people where we get the ISBN numbers, how do I get my materials copyrighted and protected, and all of that information is in there. So if somebody is an aspiring writer and they want to know what are my options, and what if I want to self-publish it myself, what's it going to cost me, where do I need to go, and what steps do I need to take so that when I actually get finished, I have a book in my hand. And I've done it now 20 books and 13 years later. And having gone down that path, I learned all the mistakes and all the things that cost me money. In fact, the first book I published cost me $2,500 before I ever had the first book in my hand. And now, when I put out a book, it cost about $250 to get to the finished product. So I've reduced my price tenfold, and I finally got it down to, I learned the mistakes and the mistakes that cost me money, and so I don't go there anymore. And
okay.
So I just wrote it out and made it available to other aspiring writers and authors who want to get their book on the market as well.
Well, thank you for that, because I think I've had a lot of authors, self-published authors, on the show this year, and they say, oh my gosh, it costs so much to print my passion. And thank you for giving that to the community, and we're going to put it on the site to make sure that they can get this book and they're going to reduce their cost. Now, the $250 will normally whatever it costs, that's because it's an ebook version that can be played on Kindle and ebooks and things like that. That's really what
that's what it cost me to put out a paperback book, an actual physical book.
Oh, wow.
The ebook end of it, in fact, ebooks cost virtually nothing because everything is done electronically, and all of the setup part of it is free. The only part that costs when you do an ebook is to get an ISBN number, like same as you would for a paperback book or a hardback book, and your copyright infringement trademark. There's some cost involved with ebook, but the ebook versus the paperback and the hardback book, you can do an ebook virtually for free.
Okay, wow. That's really amazing. Well, so with an ebook, I mean, are there different formats that ebook is printed in?
Yes.
Like Kindle and iPhone and not iPhone.
Right. There's different e-reader formats. That's actually just a technical format that the book is printed in so that it can be read on different devices. Like the Kindle reads a certain format. The Nook from Barnes & Noble reads a certain format. The Kobo reads a certain format. The Sony device reads a certain format. So they're all different formats, but when you upload your book, you upload a Word document, a single Word document, like Microsoft Word document, and the ebook converter actually automatically converts your Word document to all of those different e-reader formats. So if somebody has a Kindle and they order it, it automatically downloads the format that the Kindle will read. If somebody has a Nook from Barnes & Noble, then when they order that, it automatically downloads the data format that the Nook reads. So the end user doesn't have to worry, and neither does the author. All of the transition and conversion is done automatically by the hub distributor, the person you're allowing to carry and license your ebook through.
Okay, so when you actually carry and license your ebook, if you go to Amazon, you have an option of a physical book and also an ebook version, or do they just split the profits with you, or how is that really done?
Well, yes and no. As the
Okay.
middleman, they take their share. When you're selling a hardback or a paperback, say through Amazon, you sign an agreement with them as the author that you will give them a certain percentage of the cost of the book. And it goes anywhere from 25 to 55%. As the author, you can dictate what that percentage is going to be. That is how much you're going to allow Amazon to take. Now, Amazon being in business, if you don't do the standard 50 or 55%, they have the option to not promote your book or to
Wow.
give it little or as much promotion as they want. So they're basically like the bookstore. They're giving bookshelf space and promoting the books that are going to bring them the biggest return. So you put a book on Amazon, and if it's a hardback or paperback, as the author, you're going to determine what percentage you're going to give. Now with ebooks, you agree to them to a flat percentage rate on every ebook. So it's a little bit different in your contract with them for ebooks. It's just a flat percent, and that's
Okay.
what they take.
So, do you have to physically ship the books to them and they distribute them, or they place when the order comes through, it goes automatically to you and they charge you for it? Tell us how that scenario normally works out.
Okay. On the ebooks, my ebooks are uploaded directly to Amazon. So if someone goes to Amazon and they see my paperbacks and my ebooks, when they buy an ebook from Amazon, it's formatted for a Kindle. So they would buy, and it's downloaded directly from Amazon to their Kindle. Now, when people go to Barnes and Noble and they buy any of my books, same thing. It's automatically downloaded to the format of their reader. Now, I've got a hub distributor, Smashwords, and what they do is they're an ebook outlet. They're like an ebook store online, and they carry all of my books in all of the e-reader formats. So if someone has got like a Kobo reader or a Sony reader, they don't buy from Amazon and the Kindle. If they go to Smashwords, then they have the option of purchasing Kindle or Nook or any of these others. So I'm actually using several different distributors for the ebooks, depending on what reader the person has and who they're buying it from. Now, from when somebody buys a paperback book from Amazon, what Amazon does is they actually send the order to my printer, and my printer fulfills the shipment. So Amazon is just the middleman. All you're getting from Amazon is actually worldwide exposure, and somebody who buys from Amazon knows that they're not going to be ripped off. I mean, you're buying some security and some confidence in Amazon's ability to fulfill your order, just like they do with any of their products. But the books don't actually go to Amazon, and Amazon reships them. Somebody buys a book from Amazon, Amazon simply places the order with the people who print my books, and they print and ship and deliver directly to you as the consumer. So Amazon's just the middleman for the purchasing of it, in either case, ebook or regular book.
We have a question from email. If I am, it's a long sentence, long paragraph. Okay, I guess the gist of the story, he asking about a ghostwriter. I'm assuming that's what he's asking about. Yeah, he's asking if he's a writer. Yeah, he's asking about ghostwriting. Do you have any avenues for people who have a story to tell, but they don't know how to edit? They don't know how to make the story interesting? Is there additional support and help that they can get for that?
Sure. Easy. All they need to do is go on the internet and either go to writing sites such as, writersdigest.com. There's lots of different resources. He could go on the internet and put in ghostwriting, and it will come up with different sites and different individuals who that's what they do for a living, is do ghostwriting. easy to find, and he can probably find one in his area pretty quickly just by Googling or looking on the internet for specific ghostwriting. Or like if he's a mystery writer, go online and look up mystery writing, mystery story, ghostwriting, things like that, and it'll give them lots of resources.
Wow. Any particular, is it really expensive for a ghostwriter?
Some of them charge by the word, and some of them charge by the page, and some of them charge by the project. So,
wow.
Like anything else, that's something my suggestion to people like that is contact several. First of all, find out if they have a specific genre that they write in. Find out if they've done any other projects for people. Get some feedback on the kind of work. Ask them for a sample of their work, a couple of pages or a chapter of something they've written. Look and see if they have any professional affiliations with any ghostwriting groups or any writing groups that you can check out. And then compare and contrast what the value from one to another is and see what best fits your budget.
Okay, perfect. Anything else that I think your business normally does as a marketing or helping self-published authors market their product?
Well, anytime I sell one of my books, whoever the purchaser is always has the opportunity to contact me directly by email. If they have further questions, if they get to a part where they're stumbling, we all suggest that they drop us an email, tell us what the problem is, and we're always willing to send them whatever information we can to help solve the issue. This writing, like anything else, has layer after layer, and you discover new things, in your own marketing. I discovered one this morning when I was online. I found a group that doesn't cost anything to join, and what they do is they match up authors who are willing to go and meet with like book clubs or different groups who have an interest in their particular writing or their particular genre. So the job of the writer has to basically wear two hats, that of author and that of marketer. And the marketer one is much more difficult and takes up all the time. Once the writing is done, the work then begins, because, you can have the greatest book since War and Peace. And if nobody knows about it or they can't get a hold of it, all you've got is the greatest book that was never sold. It's all about the marketing and the exposure. And one thing that your people who are listening, if they're interested in, everybody's got a story to tell. And everybody, has a story in them. And a lot of people think they should write a book about their story. Well, if you do your homework and are really committed to doing it, just about everything that you pay for in terms of marketing, PR firms, and literary agents, all of those kind of things, a lot of that work can be done for free. But it takes a lot of digging and a lot of research. Now, the problem is, if you do get famous, then your time becomes more limited, and the more popular your work becomes, the more you have to get other people involved. At that point, if you get to that stage, you have to have a lawyer, you have to have a CPA, you have to have a PR person, because the demands on your time and your success get to a point where you can't do it all, and you've got to turn that over to somebody else. It's got to be somebody you can trust and somebody you can afford to work with. But the more successful you become, the more of that pie you're going to have to slice up and give away to other people to carry the ball for you in areas that you can't. And anybody who's that successful definitely needs to have legal representation and definitely needs to have a professional accounting group to take care of all of the expenses and all the income. You just can't get away from it. That's the cost of success and the cost of doing business.
Wow. Anything else you would like to add as a person look at being a self-published author, and as they go through reading your book and some of your other books, what would you like to leave them with?
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
If you've got a story to tell, and the only difference between the person who puts their book out there, and I just read an article on the wealthiest writers in America, and James Patterson is the most successful writer. The only difference between your book and his income is the number of zeros after that first book. So you don't give up. It's a real writers, writing is their passion, and you're going to run into a lot of hurdles, and you're going to run into a lot of people who say, what you got isn't worth it, but you just keep going forward. There's a great quote in one of my writer's books, and I'll paraphrase it. It says, success is a badminton. It has to be hit at both ends of the court to stay up. If it's only hit at one end, it soon falls to the ground. So the one thing writers know is they get a lot of no's and they get a lot of rejection. But you just have to keep moving forward and find your audience. If you've got something to say and it's written in a quality, format, in a quality way, there's an audience out there of readers who are looking for what you've got. You just have to find your audience and find your voice. Once you found your voice and you find your audience, you'll find your success.
Well said. Give us your website address again, and how can they contact you and look at your other books you have on your website?
My website is www.branch.isole. It's my name, Branch, like a tree, isole.com. And up there on the website, there's samples of my writing and all of my books and my blog and a thought for the day that we put out. There's lots of free information there. I actually have a sale right now on all of my ebooks. Through the end of this month, we're having a Dog Days of Summer sale, and all ebooks are only $1.99, 66% off. And if they want an ebook, they just go to the website, find the title, click on it. It'll take them right to the ebook. And on my ebook distributor, the first 15% of all of my books are free for free reading. You can download the first 15% of any book and read it for free, get an idea of what that book's about and whether it's something you want to pursue. But BranchIsole.com, or they can just Google my name, and it'll all take them to the same place.
Okay. So you're saying all your books right now is $1.99?
All my ebooks are $1.99.
Okay, for the month.
My paperback books are $9.95. My ebooks are normally $4.95 and $5.95, but all the ebooks through the end of August are $1.99.
Do they need a coupon code, or they just go to?
Well, there's a coupon code on my blog. If they blog and look up the Dog Days of Summer sale, it has all the coupon codes for the discount right there on the blog, and they just use that discount code for any book they want at the checkout, and it'll give them $1.99 price. And those ebooks can be read on your PC or any ebook reader, Kindle, Nook, Kobo, any of them, EPUB.
Okay, well, perfect. One question real quick. We have a email. Your last name is really, really unique. Can you tell us about the origins of your last name?
Sure. That's not my born name. That's not my given name.
Oh, okay.
That's a pseudonym.
Okay. Yeah, just the question here was kind of unique. But again, Branch, I really appreciate you sharing this time with us, and thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you, Tim. I really appreciate it, and best of luck to all those small business people in your audience and all those aspiring writers.
Great. Thank you so much. Take care.
Have a great day.
Okay. Bye-bye. Again, this has been another production of the Core Business Show. Thank you for listening, everyone. You can download this episode on iTunes or Blog Talk Radio. Also, we like to invite you to write reviews on the shows. We get a lot of listens per day, and if you can write some reviews and iTunes, we really appreciate it. Everybody, thank you for listening. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Core Business Show with Tim Jacquet. For a free quote on equipment leasing and financing, visit our website, applecapitalgroup.com. That's applecapitalgroup.com, and fill out the information to receive your free quote. We hope you'll join us for our next episode, and remember, you can always get to the Core via iTunes. You'll find all our previous episodes there. Thanks again for listening to the Core Business Show with Tim Jacquet.